The FDA has authorized reformulated COVID vaccines. The updated boosters tackle the original coronavirus vaccine strain as well as the Omicron subvariants. CBS News' Nancy Chen reports.
Newly formulated COVID-19 booster shots could be available in just a matter of days after the FDA gave its authorization Wednesday.
I will be at the front of the line at the pharmacy getting my vaccination. I'm very confident about this.
Pfizer and Moderna's updated boosters are known as bivalent vaccines. They combine components from the original vaccine with components designed to target the widely circulating Omicron subvariants BA4 and BA5.
The hope here is that by increasing the amount of antibodies we have to that particular variant, we will restore the kind of protection that we had when we first saw these vaccines launched, and hopefully stave off the coming wave of COVID-19 predicted by scientific models.
Moderna's booster is for Americans 18 and older. Pfizer's for 12 and older. People could get either booster just 2 months after receiving their last shot of the COVID vaccine. The FDA authorized the new formulations without waiting for the results from human clinical trials. But health experts argue the process is no different than what they do for other vaccines.
While we have little safety data, just like the flu shot comes out every year, and it really is tested as we give it, we're going to do the same here. So we think it's close enough to the original COVID-19 vaccine. It's the same outer shell, slightly different spike protein, that it is going to be safe.
The CDC still needs to sign off, but once the modified boosters are available, the FDA says you can get them at the same time as your annual flu shot. Nancy Chen, CBS News, New York.
So for more on this, CBS News reporter Alex Ten joins us now. Hey there, Alex, good to see you. So health officials are essentially kind of playing cat and mouse here, chasing these latest variants. Why do they think that a variant-specific booster is the right approach, and when do you think it'll be ready?
Well, that's a good question, and it's one that federal regulators say that they are asking themselves right now as they prepare to roll out this new shot. I mean, you'll recall a couple months ago over the summer, the FDA met with its outside vaccine advisors, and it was clear at the time to them, based on the evidence that they had from the current formulation of the vaccines, plus its effectiveness in the real world, lab data from the Omicron variant, that the effectiveness of the COVID vaccines was waning, and it seemed clear that it was time for an update. Then the question became what to put in that update, how to change the vaccines to best broaden the immune response, best broaden the protection, and potentially reduce the frequency of these, sometimes very frequent COVID-19 vaccine boosters they keep recommending for some groups. The bet they made at the time was that adding a component of the BA4 and BA5 subvariant of Omicron, which wasn't dominant then but appeared on track to be dominant, would best broaden that protection, increase that breadth of immunity, and potentially increase protection going into a deadly fall and winter repeat of the past two waves that took so many lives over the past 2 years. Now that bet seems to have paid off. The BA4-5 subvariants are dominant. There's a lot of evidence to suggest it does seem to broaden that immunity. We don't have those clinical trials yet, but things seem to be working out in their favor.
And I know there still are some questions about when this will actually come online, but when it does, will it be available for all age groups, or is this something that will be released kind of age by age?
Right. Well, I'm sorry, I should have clarified. The next step here is the CDC needs to weigh in. They have a meeting of their outside vaccine advisors tomorrow. Once those advisors issue their vote on updated recommendations, the CDC director, Dr. Rochelle Walensky, is expected to sign off on those updated recommendations. That is the last step to allowing those shots to go into arms. That's something that theoretically could happen as soon as tomorrow, but realistically, given the Labor Day weekend and shipping timelines and vaccinator schedules, the first shots probably won't be going into arms in many places until early next week after the Labor Day weekend. Those shots will be going into arms for people as young as 18 years old for Moderna and as young as 12 years old for Pfizer, with the potential over the coming months as Pfizer and Moderna submit more data to the FDA to expand those age groups even further down, potentially as young as 6 months old by the end of this year.
That is welcome news for a lot of parents around the country. I think something that the administration and the federal government is dealing with is this notion of vaccine fatigue. Americans who just don't care much anymore about getting the latest shot. Is that something that you've been seeing, and how are they kind of grappling with that?
Yeah, well, to put it bluntly, a big reason why there is this huge push for boosters right now is because so many Americans are not up to date on their COVID-19 vaccine. Many Americans haven't even gotten a COVID-19 vaccine shot through this entire calendar year. So obviously there's going to be a big push, like in previous rollouts, to promote the shots and answer questions about the shots, and obviously to try to set up vaccination clinics to give out these shots in many jurisdictions. But there's also a big messaging shift that's happening here. Two parts. Number one, this is the first major update to the COVID-19 vaccine since they were first rolled out, and it's probably the best bet that you have to increase that protection going into a potential, again, deadly fall and winter wave that at the worst could take your life and at the least could mess up your holiday plans. Separate from that, there is an entire messaging shift that's potentially going on right now. We're probably going to hear more about it tomorrow at the CDC meeting about whether this changes the very definition of what it means to be up to date on your vaccines. If you're older, if you have certain underlying conditions, some people are recommended to get up to 4 booster shots in order to be considered up to date on their vaccines. What you heard FDA officials say today is they think this new booster will mean no matter whether you had 1 booster shot before, no booster shots before, 4 booster shots before, once you hit that 2-month mark and you get this updated booster shot, you will be considered up to date. Done, period, end of story, and hopefully at least through the end of the winter and maybe into late next year.
All right, thinking about those holiday plans already. So Alex Ten, thank you so much for your reporting. It's really helpful to know. Appreciate it.
Thank you.